Hey everybody, it's Eric here with Spartan Auto Works. Today we are going to talk about column locks for Mercedes-Benz vehicles. So this is a very, very common part to fail. When this fails, obviously it will not unlock, but what will also happen is the dash won't power up or the car won't start. I've had many people misdiagnose it for bad keys, so you need to be careful when you do your diagnosis that you don't have a bad key and not a column lock. But column locks are probably 99% of the problem of a no start or no power up situation. So there's a couple different ways you go around repairing this. You could either take it to the dealer or buy one from the dealer. You have to provide all your information for your credentials because it is considered a security part. Order it. They should give it to you with like what they call like a green key or an orange key, and then you'll install this. You'll put the key in, it automatically programs itself. The other option is you could go with an emulator. Probably, in my opinion, the better choice if you're going to be keeping a vehicle, because these parts tend to fail multiple times even if you repair them or replace them. So an emulator would bypass this altogether. And there's a couple different versions out there. The version I like to use is a small version that just plugs in. It's just got a light on the back of it, basically. Basically, it has one for a W204 connector and another style connector, or another body style connector. And then there's one that's got universal. It's got all four of them on the back. But anyway, I usually stock the W204 is the most common one I see. I usually stock the emulator for that. And I'd say 99% of my clients go with the emulator versus repair. Now, if you want to repair this yourself, it's actually pretty simplistic. So they do make a special tool that's kind of like a pick tool. This is the column lock for Mercedes. To get this out, you got to pull the whole column out, and you will have to drill into the column lock. So hopefully you can see this, and hopefully it's in focus. But this is where we drilled this one out right here. And then once it's drilled out, you can go in here with a pick tool, and then you can turn the lock backwards to unlock it basically from the column. Then you can unbolt it and remove it. So if you want to repair it, it's actually a pretty simple repair. So there's a couple ways about this. I bought an Amazon kit that came with a new motor and this special like pick tool, so you can basically square out the roll pins and back them out. I couldn't get it to work on multiple ones that I tried on, and I just went to drill it out. So I'm a driller now. So if the tool works for you, there's some videos on that as well. If the tool works for you, great. I can't get it to work. I just suck at it. So I just drill them out and put new roll pins in. But there's a couple options here when you go to replace this motor-wise. So I found them as low as $9 a piece on eBay for the motor. Here's the motor that goes in it and goes bad. If you get one, the number, the 1020333, will probably be the same. The number underneath it will be different. So I did not order the eBay kit, but I found one. There was 2 sets on Amazon. I ordered it because it had the tool and it came with a motor. The tool didn't work. The motor I never used because I just wasn't sure if I could trust the motor, because I wasn't sure of the Amazon seller. One of my vendors actually doesn't stock them, but he can get them, and he charges me $73 a piece plus shipping. Whether or not that's too much, I don't know, but it's a vendor that I get a lot of electronic components from, so I'm hoping that the one I get from him is a good quality unit, not just some, who knows, this could be like a little RC car motor or something. I don't know. So buyer beware. Like I said, maybe the one I'm getting off Amazon is exactly what he's selling me. The one off Amazon was like $27 with the tool. Like I said, I've seen them on eBay, and you can even get them trays on eBay even cheaper, but I've seen them on eBay as low as $9. But I will say that I've never scanned the QR code, but I will say that the part number always matched, but the bottom number did not, between the ones I have bought from my vendor and the one that I got off Amazon. So what's what, I really don't know. I'm going with one from my vendor because I got to put a warranty behind it, and I'm just not sure I could trust the one off Amazon, but the Amazon one had the tool, so I bought it and the tool didn't work for me. But anyway, so real easy repair. Once you get this out, like I said, you're going to have to drill a hole, and you're going to have to take your pick tool, get in there, and you're going to have to spin the wheel back, and you'll see how this works here in a second. So you'll get your four roll pins out, drill them out, pull them out, whatever you got to do. You'll get them out, and then once you get it open, you'll have your top side of the case, and there's going to be a torque screw holding the board end. I kind of got this pre-assembled here for us. So, and hopefully this is in focus, and I know it's kind of dark, but you'll get the gist of it. So on this, you can actually see it left some burning where the motor actually went bad. This is the motor that came out of it. You can kind of see it's left some black marks there. Some black smoke came out. So you'll take the screw out, you'll pull this out of the motor. You have your two tabs here that go in the motor. Hopefully you can see that as well. Here will be your internals. So on the few of these I've rebuilt, pretty simple. Now I have a way I can kind of run these on the bench as well. I've got some whole cable set up, test rig set up, but basically what I do is I will roll it almost till it's all the way back. I'll hold this, I'll pop out the motor, and then once you pop out the motor, there's going to be like a little spacer right there. A little black spacer. You'll put in your new motor. Make sure you put the orientation for the pins to go in from the board. You'll pop it in, and then you'll just simply reassemble. Oop. And you'll go put that in like so, and then you'll push it all together. Feel like it's not sitting correctly, but maybe it is. Oh, the switches. That's not sitting right. So you will have to get in there with a pick tool and pop the switch, and you're probably not going to be able to see this on camera, and it's awfully dark where I'm doing this. Let's see here. What you can do, I guess, probably rotate this backwards. I need a flat pick tool to really do this, and better lighting. But anyway, there's going to be a limit switch, two limit switches actually, and you'll basically have to push the limit switch into the correct orientation here to get past so this will seat. Almost there. I can't even see this, and I'm sure you can't either, but anyway, you gotta trust me on it. So anyway, once you get that down, I'm not gonna waste any more time with this. This is just a quick overview. Once you get that down, you'll be able to reassemble, put your screw back in, and then put your cover back on. Put 4 new roll pins in it, trim them off at the edge flush, and you will be good to go to put this back in the car. Now for the DIYer, this is probably going to be the easiest thing for you to do, because the dealer is probably going to charge you upwards of $1,500 because they have to pull the column in order to do it. The column's really not that hard to pull apart. So if you pull the column, pull the steering wheel, all the surrounding trim and all that stuff, you pull bolt the column, pull it out, drill your hole into the front. Be very careful, go very slow, and then you'll get down to where that wheel is. And we'll just pop this off real quick again. I'll pull that motor out with it. So you'll see the wheel, and basically you're going to get in with a pick tool, and you'll just turn the wheel backwards to unlock it out of the column. You'll pull your bolt, and that'll all be there. That's all there is to it really to get it out. Then you can replace your motor, put it all back together, and put it back in the car. Now if you go with an emulator, which there's a lot of people that do mail-in service, we do mail-in service well for some of our shops. If you do an emulator, basically what you would have to do is you would have to take the EIS, you would have to calculate the EIS password, and then you would program. Once you calculate the EIS password, you would read the EIS data, then you would load it with the password from the EIS, and then you'd write it to your emulator, and then basically activate the column lock to the EIS, and it would be happy again, the car would start. So it's not easy. It does take special tooling in order to do it, special programmers. So it's not really a DIY, but there are a lot of mail order services that do it. And honestly, with this feature working, the column will no longer turn. I guess it's half in one, half in the other. Is that the way it was designed to not turn when it was engaged correct? But they're so problematic. Honestly, like I said, most of my customers, most of my shops end up going with the emulator route versus rebuilding it or even replacing it with a factory brand new unit, just because at least in hopes the emulator won't fail and you won't be stranded again, because it is a big repair. And if an emulator goes bad, at least it's just something you could literally reach under the dash, unplug, program a new one, plug it back in, and you'd be good. There wouldn't be any labor of taking everything apart. Like I said, very easy to do. These are very common to go bad. So if you have a Mercedes that does not start, obviously correct diagnosis is what you want to go through first, but you want to check your IR key, make sure your keys are good. And some of that will be out of the realm of what you can do without specialized equipment. Even shops, most shops aren't going to be able to test IR keys, but any good locksmith will be able to. So you need to test your keys and the whole checklist of what's going on. But most of the time, if you don't hear the noise of the column lock unlocking when you put your key in, that's usually it. Now, there's a couple of variations I was talking about with emulators. There is an emulator that looks just like this. Now, the one I use literally is probably about the size of this motor. That's my go-to. Now, there is another one. It is basically just like this, and it's got a little speaker in it, so when you turn the key, it actually makes a little noise. I guess to give you the illusion or feel that it's still working. But the ones that I use and the ones that I sell do not make any noise. They're just simply there to tell it it's okay to start and everything matches. But like I said, buyer beware. If you've used the eBay motors or the Amazon motors, please comment below and let us know. Like I said, I'm buying mine basically after shipping and everything. It's $80-something, but I just gotta trust my vendor versus trusting one off Amazon or eBay. I like happy customers, and I could be getting the same exact thing. I just don't know. But like I said, the top numbers will be the same. The bottom number will not. At least that's from what I'm seeing. So good luck. If you need a column lock, probably be a service that we'd be offering soon, but not right now. But you can always reach out to us to get an emulator if you'd like. But as for rebuilding them, super easy. Just be very careful when you're drilling your hole in the front. You don't want to go too far in, and as long as you go just far enough, you'll be able to get to your gear, turn the gear back, and get it unlocked, and you'll be able to unbolt it from the column and pull it out. If you have any questions, comment below. And if you've ever done one and you know about these motors or where a good place to source them, that's be a genuine, good quality, high quality replacement, please comment below and let us know. Thanks. Have a great day.